All the team upgrades are revealed, with one team expected to challenge Red Bull. Helmut Marko makes a statement that could ruin everyone's favorite Aussie, and Lewis Hamilton sends strong warning. Let's get straight into the latest F1 news. Formula One is coming back to China after a 5-year hiatus, and this time, it will showcase the new generation of cars and an array of aerodynamic strategies. The teams will have to adapt to the circuit once again, which has undergone significant changes since the last race. In this regard, it will be fascinating to see how the teams cope with the new challenges. The track in China is a thrilling circuit that offers a combination of slow, medium, and fast corners in the first and second sectors, while the third sector stands out with a straight that spans 1.4 kilometers. This straight is a full throttle zone and is also one of the 2 DRS zones. Teams that are struggling with excess drag will have a tough time in this section. One exciting aspect of the track is that it has received a new layer of asphalt, and nobody knows how the new generation of Pirelli tires will behave on it. Furthermore, in case of rain, the conditions are likely to be very slippery. The engineers responsible for adjusting the cars will face a significant challenge, as a large percentage of the track in China is somewhat new. The previous race's data is more or less useless now, as both the cars and tires look completely different. Teams will focus on maximizing the significant amount of downforce gained primarily in an efficient manner. The drivers will need excellent grip in both slow and fast corners, while excess drag will considerably reduce lap time on the straight. Some of the crucial corners will undoubtedly be the slow T6, where a good exit is required as preparation for T7. Good stability in T11 will be crucial, as it directly affects T12 and T13, as well as the long straight that follows. This track is designed so that mistakes directly affect the times in the following corners, and it's tough to rectify those mistakes. It's worth mentioning that the track evolution here will be very high, which will be particularly noticeable in qualifying, where times will only improve. Overall, the new generation of F1 cars will be put to the test at this circuit, and it will be fascinating to see how the teams adapt to the new challenges. As we approach the upcoming race, it's important to consider the aerodynamic efficiency of the different teams. Red Bull, for instance, has opted for an aggressive rear wing package that features a significant difference between its upper and lower planes. The lower plane is minimally loaded, while the upper plane will provide a considerable boost in maximum speed when the DRS system is open. This approach is expected to make Red Bull the fastest team on the track, as their aerodynamic efficiency surpasses that of their competitors. On the other hand, Mercedes and Ferrari have taken a different approach to their rear wing designs, which look entirely different from the Red Bull layout. They have opted for less loaded rear wings, which will offer an advantage on the straights. However, it remains to be seen whether this will provide enough stability in the corners. Ferrari has been performing exceptionally well since the beginning of the season, so we can expect strong race pace from them and a fight for the podium. One of the unknown factors is whether Mercedes and McLaren have managed to solve their high drag problem. In previous races, they have struggled with maximum speeds, with an obvious lag compared to other teams. It will be interesting to see if they can overcome this challenge in the upcoming race. An intriguing comparison can be made between Red Bull and McLaren's rear wing designs. McLaren's rear wing features a more loaded lower plane and a less loaded upper plane, which is entirely different from Red Bull's philosophy. This means that McLaren will have a less effective DRS, but it remains to be seen how much it will affect their performance. Aston Martin is a team that could surprise everyone this weekend. They have solved the problem of maximum speeds and have a highly loaded rear wing. They are expected to be one of the better teams, especially on this type of circuit. If you are enjoying the video so far, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. What makes this race even more interesting is the sprint race that will take place on Saturday. Teams will have only one free practice session to prepare for a track that we can say is almost unknown. This will undoubtedly bring a dose of uncertainty and surprises for the spectators. However, for the engineers, it's a challenging job because there is very little time for preparation. It remains to be seen how much risk teams will take during the sprint race and whether we'll see true performances on Saturday. The sprint qualifications that will take place on Friday will be the first real indicator of the team's performances. It will be interesting to analyze the data after that session. The 2025 Formula One driver contract saga is heating up, and Carlos Sainz Jr. finds himself at the center of the action. Sainz and his management have been in discussions with every team in F1 that has an opening for next season. This is because he will be replaced at Ferrari by Lewis Hamilton. Until Fernando Alonso re-signed with Aston Martin last week, Sainz had been weighing up possible options at 8 squads. Previously, only Ferrari and McLaren had their 2025 lineups locked in. One of the most intriguing possibilities for Sainz is the chance to go to Red Bull. This could happen if Sergio Perez is replaced, or if Max Verstappen were to make a shock choice and leave the team due to the ongoing Red Bull management war and the Christian Horner scandal. Red Bull via Marco was publicly courting the Sainz camp at Suzuka last time out. There, Marco also claimed that Audi is making pressure on the 2025 driver market. This follows the long-held understanding that Audi had been eyeing signing Sainz ahead of its F1 entry in 2026. This is due to the Sauber takeover, as the 29-year-old already had links to the manufacturer through his father's Dakar rally outings in its RSQ e-tron machinery since 2022. He even won the 2024 event. Ahead of this weekend's returning Chinese Grand Prix, Marco added another intriguing element to the most high-profile confirmed 2025 driver contract saga so far in this early silly season agitating. In an interview with Austrian newspaper Kleine Zeitung, Marco said of Sainz, "We're talking to him, he's having his strongest season in F1, but he has a very lucrative offer from Audi that we can't match or beat." Marco also revealed that Verstappen publicly backing him during the various twists in the Red Bull management war early in 2024 had been a really big sign of loyalty that he absolutely don't take for granted, especially in this day and age. Regarding reports of a possible Ricciardo-Lawson in-season swap that have emerged in the New Zealand and Italian press in recent weeks, Marco said, "With Liam Lawson as a reserve driver, we obviously have a strong driver in the team who is contractually entitled to drive for another team if he doesn't get a cockpit with us in 2025. In this respect, it would of course be exciting for us if we could see him in Formula One this year to get an even clearer picture. But it's a complex issue, so we'll have to see how things progress." Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time Formula One world champion, has recently confirmed that he will be leaving Mercedes to join Ferrari at the end of the 2024 season. Despite the fact that his decision has been met with skepticism from some quarters, Hamilton remains firm in his conviction that it is the right move for him at this stage of his career. In a recent interview, he stated that he has not once questioned his decision to switch teams, nor does he feel that he needs to justify it to anyone else. Although Hamilton is still fully committed to delivering his best possible performance for Mercedes in his final year with the team, he has had to deal with a barrage of questions about his future at Ferrari following a tough start to the 2024 season. However, he has remained resolute in his belief that he made the right decision and is not swayed by the comments of others. Hamilton's move to Ferrari comes after a decade-long association with Mercedes, during which time he became one of the most successful driver-team pairings in the history of F1. He has spoken openly about the challenges of leaving behind such a successful partnership, but is confident that he has made the right choice for his career going forward. Despite the fact that Ferrari currently appears to have a more competitive package than Mercedes, Hamilton is not giving any consideration to whether the same might play out when he swaps teams. He is instead focused on finishing his final year with Mercedes on a high note and preparing for the next chapter of his career with Ferrari. Interestingly, Hamilton's former McLaren teammate and longtime rival Fernando Alonso has recently signed a new deal with Aston Martin that will see him racing until he is 45 years old. When asked whether he could see himself racing on until a similar age when he joins Ferrari, Hamilton stated that he plans to be racing well into his 40s and is excited for what the future holds. That is it for this video. Now watch this playlist to get up to date on the latest news before this week's race. See you there.